A World Cup champion, a Golden Ball trophy winner, and the only person in World Cup history to have a hat trick in the final, for crying out loud, and a new book that's out. I'm holding it up, radio audience, when nobody was watching, and I will stop talking about it as if she's not sitting right next to me. Good to see you, Carli Lloyd. How are you?
How you doing?
Good to see you.
Yeah.
So are you Southern Jersey, Northern Jersey? Where are you from in Jersey?
South Jersey, which, yeah, I guess you could say it's a different state in Jersey.
Well, I mean, in that respect, that makes you closer to the Philadelphia side of the sports world than the New York side of the sports world.
Yes, absolutely.
That's fair to say.
Yes.
So who in the Philadelphia sports world do you root for?
Well, all the Phillies sports teams.
Okay.
Eagles, I'd say I primarily watch.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So how much time do you have to do that with what you do, selling a book and playing?
I haven't had a whole lot of time. I've missed out on the 3 games that they've already played, which they're undefeated. And I heard that you didn't rank them in your top 5.
I love it. Yeah. Because I need to still see more out of Carson Wentz, but they are winning. They're at top of their division, and I just need to see a little bit more out of them. But maybe they'll make me eat crow. You never know, those sorts of things. So when you see, and I'll ask you this question I asked this of Abby Wambach, somebody who mentions Women's World Cup, that you are one of the best women players, female players. How do you take that? Is that something you prefer not to hear, or you just prefer to just be called a player? How do you take that?
Yeah, Carli? I mean, I think that I've worked extremely hard over the years to get to this point. My goal was to become the best player in the world, but I don't need the title, of every person to be like, here's the best player in the world, because I still am myself, a little girl, grew up in a small town in Delran, New Jersey, and just want to keep getting better and better. So, but it is an honor.
So what does motivate you?
I think, I just have that will and desire that's just channeled inside of me to just continue to become the best. I think that's ultimately, why I'm playing soccer.
Well, how did it start? Did somebody just say you can't, and then it just pissed you off one time, and then that was the end of it? You just would never want to hear something like that again?
Yeah, I mean, I think over the years I've had talent, but I've also had a lot of coaches who just told me I was great, and then I ran into a coach who was actually pretty blunt and pretty honest with me at the under-21 national team level, and I didn't know how to deal with it. So I thought about quitting the game, and then I was introduced to this guy, James Galanis, my trainer, who I've been working with ever since in 2003. And he's kind of instilled this mentality of never becoming complacent, being a fierce competitor, and going on to become the greatest ever. And that's the plan. That's
the plan. So what did the coach, who is this coach? Do we want to out this coach?
Yeah, I've actually had several conversations with him. Chris Petrucelli, he's a Jersey guy. He coaches college soccer now. And I thanked him.
What did he say to you?
He basically told me, you're just not good enough. You're not good enough to make this team. You've got talent, but I have to see more. You have to work hard. You have to defend. I was one of those players who just hung out up in the attacking end, waited for the ball to come, and just scored when I could.
More complete player is essentially what he's saying to you. I've got Carli Lloyd here in the Rich Eisen Show studio. And while I guess we're sort of on a subject today, we're talking about Odell Beckham of the Giants and him not being able to control his emotions in a way that people are trying to provoke him, and it seems to be working. Did you ever have an issue with that, about controlling emotions and trying to keep things in check for yourself to try and move to the next level? Did you ever have an issue like that?
Yeah, I would say probably not to that extreme.
Right.
But I think, having good character is what gets you to the top and what keeps you at the top. If you don't have good character, if you don't respect your teammates, your coaches, respect the game and people around you, you're going to have a short window of playing. And so for me, I had to change my character because I always blamed teammates, I blamed coaches. I never looked in the mirror and said to myself, what do I need to do to get better? And now I have this mentality of not competing against anyone, giving every single coach I play for no reason to leave me off the squad. And, you have to go about it like that.
But when did that happen? How did that process go down, Carli, for you to see the light in that regard?
It took a while. It took a while for James to really, just turn everything around for me. I mean, he spent a lot of countless hours off the field making sure that I was thinking the right way and making sure that, maybe I didn't freak out on a coach because he didn't pick me for this roster or he benched me. I can be stubborn, I admit that, but you have to remain classy and you have to just remain focused on the job. And even if you don't agree with the coach or you don't agree with a certain situation, you have to overcome it, turn it into a positive, and be able to get through it.
And just, I guess, to continue on with the headline of the day and things that have gone on in your world, I mean, Hope Solo is saying a lot of the things that Odell Beckham is saying in a way right now, that being singled out, that certain things that I do isn't being backed up, or I'm being viewed in a very hypocritical way because other people are allowed to get away with some of the things that I'm saying or doing. Where do you stand on what happened with Hope Solo?
Well, I know Hope very well. I'm close with her. I'm still, constant communication with her. She just actually had shoulder surgery. Hope's very competitive, and she's one of the all-time best goalkeepers to have ever suited up. I don't think there'll be another Hope Solo ever again. She's competitive. She spoke her mind. She was disappointed that Sweden didn't come out and give us a good game. But it's one of those things where, you have to show good character in times of, success and in times of loss. I think that this one particular instant, wasn't her 6-month suspension. I think there's been a sum of many things that have contributed to this, which is unfortunate. And, Hope's got courage because she's not afraid to speak her mind. And, I definitely respect that. Yeah,
Abby Wambach, who was sitting in that very chair a week ago, called it a Lifetime Achievement Award, is what she said, that the suspension was something built up over time.
It is,
essentially what she said.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think that particular comment was deserving of a 6-month suspension? Probably not. I think maybe she'd get a slap on the wrist, but I think there's been things that have kind of triggered that, and eventually you run out of kind of lives like that. And
Carli Lloyd here on the Rich Eisen Show. I'll ask you the same question I asked Abby about her book. Why'd you want to write this and put so much personal information and so much heartache from your family history in a book for everyone to see in pages?
Yeah, that was a tough thing for me, because when I was meeting with publishers, when this opportunity came after the World Cup, I actually was not going to include anything about my family. In speaking with my co-author, Wayne Coffey, who did a phenomenal job on the book, he said, look, this is a big part of your journey. I think a lot of people can learn from this instance. So I thought about it some more and realized it is a big part of my journey. And, with the unfortunate circumstances, it made me stronger, because I had to basically fight and survive. And
the estrangement you're talking about?
Yes, and, crawl my way to the top without the support of my family. I am a very private person, so I think it's come to a surprise that I did open up about this, but hopefully there's, reconciliation and we can put the pieces back together.
Right here in this book, Carli Lloyd, When Nobody Was Watching, when you see girls playing soccer, I'm an AYSO coach. I see these little girls running around playing soccer. My girl's 3. I plan on coaching her too. What do you want young ladies who look at you and say, I want to be like you? What do you want them to know, Carli?
Well, I want them to know that I wasn't the next big thing that was coming out of college who was going to be the next prodigy on the national team. So I want them to know that even if there's people that don't think you can make it to the top, the doubters, the haters, if you work extremely hard and you practice on your own, you can achieve greatness. And I think what's great about my book is you don't have to be a soccer fan. I think it's inspiring for all walks of life, people who maybe want to go be a CEO of a company. I mean, you have to spend a lot of countless hours. And no matter what has come your way, no matter what you're going through, whether it's an issue with your boyfriend, girlfriend, family, you can still achieve greatness if you put your mind to it and get through it.
And where's Rutgers with you? You're not in the Rutgers Sports Hall of Fame. When are we going to get on this? By the way, Michigan plays Rutgers this week, so I'm trying to stir up as much of a Hornets nest as possible in football. But are you in contact with your alma mater on this front?
Yeah, I mean, well, they've had a lot of AD changes.
Yes.
So I've heard the new AD is a great guy, and I'm sure when things slow down, I'll get into communication with him and figure that out. But I don't know, is a Hall of Fame sort of when you're done playing, or do they do that while you're still playing?
No, I mean, you can get in right now.
Okay.
I mean, you've done.
Maybe they're waiting.
Let's put it this way: enough has been done by you, and I guess that leads me to my question about your future. I mean, do you think you got another World Cup in you?
I do. Another World Cup, another Olympics. That's the plan.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jill's on my side. I'm ready to go. I know my role, know what I need to do, and
okay.
Just got to go for it.
In the meantime, you're going to play in Houston until those times, pretty much? You got that going on?
Yeah, Houston's done, so I'll be back in Jersey and
Okay.
getting married in November. So post-wedding, we'll start to rebuild again.
Where are you registered? Can we get you something here at the Rich Eisen Show? Can we get you something?
Yeah, but maybe off the topic because then everyone will know our date and everything like that. I'm a little private about that part.
That's right. I didn't see that in the book. But we'll, maybe if you need like a gravy boat, a Rich Eisen Show gravy boat.
Or a spoon.
We can work that for you.
Okay, great.
We can work that for you. Go by When Nobody Was Watching, My Hard-Fought Journey to the Top of the Soccer World by Carli Lloyd. Thanks for coming in here.
We
appreciate it when you called in after your hat trick, and so it's a pleasure to see you in person here.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.